Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, a free way to support the channel is by leaving a like, by leaving a comment, by leaving multiple comments. Very big shout out to the person yesterday who left the entire alphabet as each comment, and every single one had a different thing. It was like B for Bitcoin, C for Cardano, D for Dogecoin. I thought that was quite unique in its own way. Thank you very much for the additional 26 comments. And as always, watch out for the people and or robots pretending to be me everywhere. People keep telling me that there are also ads on the channel that are showing the fake TMI arbitrage. No, that's not me, and I do not control the ads. That's Google that actually does it. If you didn't know that, it's the entire system. It's the AI that kind of matches the topic of your video with the topic of the thing that you end up seeing. So I don't control it, but it's just a little weird that people are able to create those. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump right into it. The news of the day is mainly focusing on the price of the cryptocurrency market, as one would completely expect. It says President Joe Biden today, or yesterday, announced a monster new spending budget, and the price of Bitcoin scraped the $40,000 surface following the news. Biden's proposal is to spend $6 trillion next year in the biggest federal spending since WW2, according to a Thursday New York Times report. And Biden will push Congress up to the federal spending to $8.2 trillion by 2031. The price of Bitcoin jumped roughly 7% following the news, trading above $40,000, but has since retraced its steps. It's now trading just below the mark, up approximately 2% in the past 24 hours. So right now, Bitcoin's price is around 36,500, somewhere or other around there. You can actually see on the charts, of course, that the market spiked and then kind of went back down. I think it's another one of those really weird, like, buy the news, sell the paper, sell the news, buy the Bitcoin, or whatever phrase that people end up saying. Stocks also rose slightly on the news, according to reports. Dow Jones rose by 0.4%, S&P 500 by 0.3%, etc., etc. Biden's $6 trillion budget, according to the New York Times, which obtained documents from the information, will be spent on infrastructure, education, and a particular focus on healthcare. Taxation and spending will also rise to levels not seen in the post-war era as well. So the news is, for those of you who were not here or were completely unaware that this took place, the rapid rise in the price of the cryptocurrency market last year is heavily attributed to the fact that not only did we still have 19, but also the amount of spending that the U.S. government and many other governments performed. But as the U.S. dollar is the world's reserve currency, we talk about the U.S. spending because it is the biggest one out there. With trillions of dollars, if you Google or look around for the M1 money supply US dollar, you'll find a really cool chart. It basically shows like the amount of dollars being printed, and then last year it kind of skyrockets completely up. It's like, anyway, without having to get into that entire conversation. So the idea normally is that as money is printed more, Bitcoin's value rises and the US dollar value drops, and therefore everyone puts their money into cryptocurrencies, etc., yada, yada, yada. There wasn't any other coin news price today, which I found kind of weird. Everything completely revolved around Bitcoin. We typically have a fair amount of 2 Bitcoin stories, and then there's like an Ether one, a Cardano one, and maybe something floating around XRP and or Litecoin or some other coin that's brand new that's kind of just came out. But everything is just revolving around Bitcoin. It says Bitcoin challenges 40,000 again, following Biden's $6 trillion spending budget reveal. This one says Bitcoin price prediction. And not really. I don't know why people, I think it's just a keyword to get people to look. Like a lot of these say Bitcoin price prediction, but they won't actually give you a prediction. It just says price prediction. Anyway, it says Bitcoin retests $65,500, prepares to move higher? Question mark? That's not a prediction. That's a question mark. Anyway, so we'll see exactly what happens to the market because no one knows, because the market's always really weird. We expect it to do one thing, but alas, it does something completely different. And without further ado, let's move on. And oh my gosh, this was all over the place news. I could not get away from it. Cardano will soon have smart contracts. And IOHK designed what? And IOHK designed the Marlow. Is that a sentence? Develop suite to make the process easier than ever. Oh, and IOHK designed the Marlow development suite. I was like, I thought Marlow was someone's name, and I was like, the Marlow suite. Okay, IOHK, the studio behind the development of the Cardano blockchain, announced the launch of a suite of products, that makes more sense, that will ensure the network is fit for growing the ecosystem of DeFi. The Marlow suite was explicitly designed to facilitate peer-to-peer agreements, enabling the development of Cardano smart contracts, yada yada, last year. But first, the Cardano development team must ensure the release of Alonzo. This hard fork will allow for the first time the execution of smart contracts on Cardano. According to a recent announcement, everything is now ready for the release of the Alonzo testnet in early alpha status. The rollout will be done in stages. They'll be color-coded because we're in first grade, which will be implemented every month starting in June until its full release on the mainnet scheduled for September of this year. So a lot of people are very excited. You may have noticed, especially the other times before when we were talking about Cardano, even when we've had like price dips in the market, Cardano is usually one of the coins to kind of go back up first. There are a lot of people who are accumulating Cardano, want to be using Cardano. The expectation is that with the implementation of not only smart contracts, but also the DeFi space, we're going to have as much, here's the assumption, as much energy as there is for Ethereum. A huge portion of that will move over to Cardano. Therefore, people who have grown tired with Ethereum's 15 transactions per second will love Cardano's faster speed and easier sensor use and all these other things like that. And then NFTs and then people locking up their Cardano. I think, what was it? I think we last heard it was like 70 or 80% of the entire circulating supply of ADA is currently locked into the protocol to be able to stake, and tons of people are staking and making extra passive income. I think the number for Ethereum that we last heard was 3 to 4%, so that's a huge difference. 4% for Ethereum, 70 to 80% for Cardano. There's clearly a huge amount of demand for the actual thing. We are moving very close. Here's the actual blog post for it right here. It says, Marlow, smart contracts. There's a woman who's smiling because she's looking at her phone. And it says, her phone is screaming with an arrow. It says, financial smart contracts made easy. Maybe that's why she's smiling at it. So we're moving very close to this. I think we are definitely, I believe we will see a movement up continuously in price for Cardano. Maybe not on the exact day of the implementation, but as we continue to hear, it usually happens this way. 5 companies are building on top of Cardano. 15 companies are building on top of Cardano. Charles Hoskinson will release a YouTube video and he's like, we now have 248 companies and we've minted 38,000 NFTs and we have 100,000 smart contracts, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, Cardano. And people start buying more Cardano and then the price ends up going up. That's usually ends up taking place. But the excitement around Cardano is not going to be ending anytime soon. What's this one? Also on top of that as well, it's now like attacking season. This happens every year. This happens subsequently also every bull run, where everyone makes sure to mention that theirs is better than theirs. So for those of you not looking at the screen, it says Cardano boss puts into words why Ethereum 2.0 will fall flat. To be fair, this is happening across the entire space. Cardano keeps talking about why they're better than Ethereum. The people from Ethereum recently, or Ethereum advocates, have recently been talking about why the move to proof of stake is going to be so much better and have more utility than Bitcoin because they'll be using less electricity and they have more smart contracts and they can do more than this with Bitcoin. The people from Bitcoin are talking about proof of work is better because you need the energy to be able to create money, and this is what gives Bitcoin part of its, this is real conversation, gives Bitcoin part of its value proposition. And then you have the people who like the animal coins, and they're like, hey, all your coins are terrible because they don't have animals on them. Shiba to the moon. And then the people from Litecoin are like, hey, that doesn't make any sense. We're a legacy coin. So everyone's kind of fighting each other. But usually what's in the news on a daily basis is that guy falling? All right. What's normally in the news is Mr. Hoskinson is just talking bad about Ethereum. And it also made news today, so it's we're done. And then on top of that, I think we had this news yesterday or the day before as well. I honestly can't tell because a lot of the news is blending together for my brain. It says new milestone for Cardano as crypto asset hits 1 million wallets. That means 100 million. A million different individual wallets have been created, and people are stacking their ADAs, stacking their cryptocurrencies and stuff like that because more people are trying to accumulate Cardano. We never get a lot of news about Cardano whales, if you will. I'm pretty sure they're out there. Oh, there we go. 70% of ADA is currently being staked. Yeah. 2,500 pools. We went over this. Also a very big metric as well. This is also something. They all kind of fit together. And on top of this as well, it says Cardano investment products have seen the highest weekly inflows among the cryptocurrency investment products, according to a new published report by CoinShares. The report reveals that ADA inflows into investment products were $10 million for the week ending on Monday. More than any other cryptocurrency fund, Bitcoin funds saw outflows of $110 million, and Ethereum saw outflows of around $12 million as well. Depending on what kind of metric you're really using or what makes you feel warm and snuggly at night. Usually, inflows into investment products means that institutions or what rich people in general are interested in said product and they're using their money to buy up said coin product. Cool, good metric. On the other side, the outflows can also be seen as a positive as well, in that they're taking their money off of it to be able to custody it themselves. So it's good when they buy and it's good when they take it off because they're buying it up and then they're taking it off to put it into some type of product or whatever they decide to. You understand what I'm talking about. There was a lot of Cardano news today. I tried to squish it all together because I sat here and I was like, I'm not in the mood to talk about Cardano for about 25 minutes. So yeah, tons of Cardano stuff going on. Tons of people are buying it. Tons of people are staking it. And at some point we are going to finally have news. But this is how it works though. So I was going to say at some point we're going to have news that there are Cardano smart contracts. And then we're going to be like, woo, don't have to talk about Cardano for a while. But Cardano's going to have another upgrade that they're going to be planning for January. I'm certain of it. And that'll kind of make the news again. They're very good with keeping themselves in the news. Anyway, that's all the Cardano news. Yeah. And let's move on. Next up Ethereum investors have resumed the habit of moving Ethereum out of crypto exchanges and into their personal wallets for utilizing DeFi or for cold storage. According to data from Viewbase, a total of, 403,000 Ether, worth around $1.1 billion, has left crypto exchanges in the last 24 hours. The screenshot below, courtesy of the tracking website, further demonstrates this outflow of Ethereum. Like I just said, the entire idea being, as people buying it up is cool. One thing, we have metrics for those as well. But we're seeing quite rapidly, you can trace most of these things because of addresses and like the DeFi wallet address and all those other things. The amount of people who are taking their cryptocurrencies off of exchanges and for use, personal use and stuff like that, is growing quite rapidly. It's also, of course, happening for Bitcoin as well. But we're getting more and more Ethereum metrics. Even this sentence right here kind of says it all. It says Ethereum seems more attractive than Bitcoin right now. I think it's once again just the mimic of 2017 that we've had. There is always, of course, a possibility of Ethereum becoming the number one coin. It does not seem explicitly likely, but alas, once again, no one predicted the last 17 months on Earth. So, it could be anything. But this means that there's a lot of interest for Ethereum, logically, that a lot of people are going to be staking more of their coins to have this as passive income. And a lot of people are basically, trying to secure it because we've had news before, not to say that this is explicitly going to happen, but people have had problems before in the past where they couldn't take their money off of exchanges or where they had a lot of problems or they had a daily limit. And you kind of want complete control over your money, especially as prices are moving up and down. But that's in 24 hours, that's a huge amount to be taken off of cryptocurrency exchanges. So we'll continue getting more Ethereum metrics as we normally do. Ethereum is quite popular. Anyway, that's the Ethereum stuffs. And let's move on. I think we're getting to the really stupid news now. Wait for it. Yep, here we go. Christopher Hui, Hong Kong's Secretary for Financial Services and the Treasury, has defended the recent proposal by the city's financial services and the Treasury Bureau to ban retail crypto trading. For those of you who have not been here before, I'm going to explain the history of crypto to you. In normal finance, there are retail investors and there are institutional investors. Institutional, it kind of has the name in it. It can mean an institution. It can mean a bank. It normally means usually a very rich individual or individuals. Retail is everything below that. That's you, me, us, I, we. That's all of us. The idea is if you are an institutional investor, you normally they base it around a net worth of more than 25 million, 50 million, and you have a very big portfolio that they can look into and say, hey, you're rich, you've made tons of money. They kind of allow you to do whatever you want. Everyone else, however, usually gets thrown into the mud and we are told you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't touch this, you can't touch that. Can't touch this. Anyway, remember earlier in the beginning of this year when the entire Wall Street bets thing was happening, and all these people made tons of money on GameStop. You might have remembered, maybe you just started getting into finance, were on the TV, they had these really old people, they were about 193 years old, screaming at the screen saying, hey, we need more protections. We can't allow retail investors to be able to do whatever they want. They mean poor people. What happened is GameStop stock went up so high, everyday normal people who normally would not have ever gotten into the market, retail investors, began to make $50,000, $70,000. Some even made $125,000. There was that one guy who made $1 million and he was on every single news outlet thing. The problem is that the institutions were betting against the price of GameStop and they wanted to make billions. So the fact that they weren't able to make their billions and you made $25,000 was a very big problem. So there's always these gates that they keep trying to raise to stop retail investors, everyday normal people, from getting into the market. This is why this news is significant. Because not only are you saying, first of all, we've had reports before that crypto was meant to be banned or completely restricted within Hong Kong. And now the news is maybe we should just stop poor people from touching it. Sounds kind of terrible, right? In a speech delivered at Start Me Up HK Virtual FinTech Summit on Thursday, Hui said that the proposal was in line with the government's plan to properly police the emerging crypto market. There's a really big difference when you come to policing or protecting all the different types of investors. Is usually if you inform them, let them know what's going on. You can even make them download an app that says, hey, we believe that this one particular cryptocurrency or product might be a scam. Be wary if you plan on putting your money into it. That's a really good way of helping these people. Send them PDFs all the time. Let them really understand how finance works, as opposed to making sure that everyday normal people have no chance of getting into finance. That's why I love cryptocurrencies, because you, regardless of what you say, you can't really restrict it. You can tell people not to touch it, but it's the internet and they can still kind of do whatever they want on the internet. And it's this amount of financial inclusion that I really love about the cryptocurrency space, because it's available for everyone. Most finance, you may have noticed as well, many other times when you're watching something on television or some type of financial news. I remember this happened to me years ago. You try to get into finance, you know, I want to learn what these people know. And all you hear is security, commodity, and they talk about all these really weird numbers and all these weird phrases, and you sit there and you go, I have no idea what they're talking about. That's also done on purpose to make sure that you have no idea what's going on. It's true. Like, I'm not even half joking. These phrases and these words are put out there so that when you watch it, you have no idea what's going on. You get discouraged and you leave. This is why I always say, do your own research, learn these phrases, learn what these things are. So when you hear about them, when you hear the little things that the little nuances that they say on television, you also understand what's going on, so you know better what to do with your money. Surprise! As previously reported by Cointelegraph, the FSTB proposed or issued a proposal after months of consultation. I'm sure it took them an hour, calling for a ban on retail crypto trading and the establishment of a strict regulatory regime for cryptocurrency exchanges. As part of the proposal set to be presented before the city's legislature, the FSTB argued for a minimum investment threshold for crypto trading at about $1 million. This provision will reportedly exclude 93% of the population. How many people do you know right now have $1 million to throw into crypto? Probably not many. Me neither. You know what's really crazy is there in every single country that has come forward talking about a restriction on poor people being able to get into the market, there have been zero propositions, nothing put forward from stopping these same people who they don't want to get into crypto from getting into real estate. That is to say, from taking out a mortgage and being in debt for the next 30 years. That's totally fine. If you are a poor person, don't have enough money, it took you 15 years to save up this money to put a down payment on a house, and you want to be in debt for 30 years, please, we'll roll out the red carpet for you. There's no restrictions when it comes to buying gold, when it comes to just about anything else, any other type of investment vehicle. That's why I continuously say it's so weird that they're trying to put so many restrictions on cryptocurrencies. It's so blatantly obvious. They're not doing this to mutual funds. They're not doing this to index funds. They're not stopping people from even investing in the stock market, which they also control. Always cryptocurrency. Can you imagine the audacity of putting forth a proposal that says 93% of the population cannot touch this asset class? I've mentioned it before. Just going to throw it in there. When we get to the future, more of the future than we're currently in, and these prices for these coins have gone insane, and should we ever hit a $500,000, $1 million, a $1.5 million Bitcoin, and 93% of your population has not been able to touch it, to invest in it, and they have none of it, do you think they'll be happy? Or do you think they'll be terribly mad at the people who put forth that proposition? I'm not sure. No, it's greed. It's always greed. It's always money. But there's never a discussion as to normal people. Why do we keep having this discussion, me, you, I, us, on this channel, of these people putting forth these things saying, no, we're doing it to help them? So this is one of the major news stories for today. It's not going to make major news anywhere by any means. I think people see this kind of news, they kind of brush it away and they go, well, it doesn't affect me until it does, until your country says the exact same thing. And so they start asking how much crypto you have, show us where your crypto is, how much money, the normal things that they don't do for your other investments. If they probably won't ask how much art you have, how much gold you have, but they're doing it for cryptocurrencies. Especially when it comes to the discussion of Bitcoin. And I always find that quite particular. Is because to me and all my friends, we are certain at this point that governments are knee deep into the Bitcoin space. They're trying to accumulate as much as they possibly can, and they want everyone else out of the market. It is way too obvious. So anyway, for those of you who also don't know, this happened a year and some change ago. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says Bank of Russia seeks limit on amount of digital assets retail investors can buy. That's right. It's happening all over the world. I think the proposal was for $3,000 or something like that. I think per year. If you didn't have millions of dollars, you could only put a couple thousand, and any more than that, and I think you would go to jail or something like that. Not even half joking. Doesn't this all seem kind of weird and all kind of coordinated to make sure that the richest people just accumulate all the Bitcoin they want? Anyway. So that's that news. Yeah, let's move on. This news should be like actually everywhere, but the hype is more important. It's the where prices are going, how high prices are going to go. Look at my chart. Look at this. It's never hey, that seems a little unfair, and I hope that never comes to my country. Kind of thing that should be, Anyway. Also in really weird news, BitHum, one of the largest exchanges in South Korea, is reportedly going to be listing Binance Coin's coin on their platform. The news was reported by TechFlow, and the official clipping shows Binance Coin will be paired against Bitcoin. Here's the tweet for it right here. It says, according to TechFlow, the South Korean exchange BitHum will list Binance's platform currency BNB yesterday. It's rare for a large exchange to launch another. Yeah. There were rumors that Binance tried to acquire BitHum as well. So yeah, little quick tidbit. This never happens. It's kind of like, no, I can't even give you like another example. It's just kind of not a thing. But I guess this is leading to speculation that Binance has acquired BitHum. Maybe they own a portion of it. But you would never see Gemini adding Coinbase's coin or Binance coin. It's just not a thing. But alas, here we are. Yeah. Let's move on. I think we have more stupid news. Hold on. Yup, the governor of the Nigerian central bank has changed his mind on restricting crypto trading. Some say he had little choice but to allow it. Little preface. A lot of these countries who have absolutely terrible economies, and that's not a joke, that's not me making fun of them, I mean abysmal. Terribly, horrifically, like, oh my gosh, I need an entire bag of money to be able to buy flour. We've gone over those before. They keep trying to restrict cryptocurrencies in the country, and I think it confuses a lot of people as to why they're doing it. It's because a lot of times you can't really, not that you can't, is they won't bend the knee to basically say, we messed up. Everything that we've done. Imagine having to say that to your people. Imagine you have 30 million people. Hey, the last 40 years, we knew we were messing up the currency, but we kind of didn't care. So everyone move over to Bitcoin now because we've really messed up and we can't get it right. So we have to have a whole new economic system. Yeah, you see, you can't say that out loud. But the amount of, I'm not sure if it was Nigeria, but we've had many banks before, banks, not even the government, banks who came forward and basically told everyone, hey, yeah, Bitcoin's banned, don't touch it. And then someone brave enough came forward and actually went to the government and said, is this actually banned? And they said, no. Who told you it was banned? Well, the news was last year from the bank. No, there's no ban. This has been happening consistently, and it also makes me a little, I won't say angry, I'll say annoyed, angry, because this means to me, once again, that these larger institutions and banks have probably been accumulating themselves while they made sure that the millions of people in their country had no access to any of the crypto. According to local news reports, the Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele says he will allow the trading of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Imagine not creating something and thinking that you can tell other people that they can't use it. It's all about power and money. And I know it annoys them to no end that they did not create Bitcoin and they have zero control over the network. I can imagine some of the discussions happening behind the scenes. It has to be driving them insane. That the protocol, and I understand we could be far more decentralized than we currently are, more nodes and more people mining around the world, yada, yada, yada. I got that. Imagine wanting complete control over everything and realizing the most you can do is order about 5,000 mining machines, put them in your backyard, and kind of join the club. It has to make them go completely insane. And even more so, thinking that you can tell other people, don't touch that code. Keeping in mind, Bitcoin's not physical. Countries are trying to make code, actual ones and zeros, illegal, and telling people on your phone that you own, don't download that code. Doesn't it make it seem a lot more absurd, everything that's currently taking place? In February of this year, CBN Director Bello Hassan signed a letter warning monetary service providers of severe regulatory sanctions if they dealt with cryptocurrency exchanges. Aside from hitting a $2.5 trillion market cap, not much has changed in the cryptoverse between then and now, at least not fundamentally. This begs the question, why has the CNB backtracked on its earlier call? My assumption is that they were scaring people to not get into it so that they could accumulate more. This is always the answer. It's never been anything else. Remember all those like other banks and the other billionaires who were like, Bitcoin's crap, like the guy yesterday who was like, we don't like it, it's absolutely terrible in 2018. And then he mentioned yesterday he's going to be putting $1.5 billion into crypto. What exactly changed, sir? What was the difference between then and now? What made you love our space? Anyway, for those of you who've never seen this, I implore you to do this for every single country. It's actually quite fascinating. You can see the Nigerian inflation rate. Now, when you look at the chart, you see the blue keeps going up and it's like, what? Those numbers look insane. It's even more insane when you realize that this is month to month. Yeah, I know, it's terrible, right? And this is happening across the globe. It's not making normal news because this would this would instill proper panic into so many people. You would have tons of bank runs. You would have an enormous amount of people who would be throwing every dollar, coin, dime that they have into the cryptocurrency space just to get away from this. Their money is inflating, for those of you not looking at the screen or who cannot look at the screen, on a month-to-month basis. So last July, it was at 12%. The next month, it was a 13%, 13.74%. By April, it was 18% just on that month alone. This is why they're all getting into cryptocurrencies silently. I'm expecting, now this is how I feel. People often ask me, I was going to make a video about this before, but I think it would have been way too intense because I have a crazy imagination about what I foresee happening in the future with the cryptocurrency space. And a lot of it is going to be anger. A lot of it's going to be anger at the governments who continue to inflate their money. And I mean, like, we're not talking about like US dollar inflation. I mean like a 14, 15, 16, 17, 18% month-on-month inflation, continual inflation, to the point where you can't buy anything. And once again, you need an entire pillowcase full of money to be able to buy flour. These people who were discouraged and told not to get into the cryptocurrency space. What was the other country that we spoke about? This was a couple of weeks ago. There was some country where crypto was banned. And I give you an air quotes because you can't ban Bitcoin. And I think even the day after, the amount of people on like trading apps and stuff like that skyrocketed in the country because they were like, okay, well, we can't use that platform. We're still going to get into this market. So all the people, this is just me, all the people who are told not to get into this market and who are going to be missing out on making life-changing money are going to be a smidge angry in the future. And it's going to be interesting. Anyway, so that's the Nigerian news. What's this one? Here's the actual news story. The website is called Legit, which I also thought was a little funny. It says cryptocurrency will be allowed in Nigeria. Oh, thank the goodness. I'm so happy that he lifted that veil from people not being able to use it before. What are you talking about? You didn't allow it. It was always allowed. You just tried to control people. And to finish things off, in another bit of news story that I think is interesting, someone is thinking of creating a crypto blockchain skyscraper in New York. The New York skyscraper will incorporate a wireless network, providing easy access to public and private blockchains. Todd Morley, Overline chairman and co-founder of financial services giant Guggenheim Partners, is building a blockchain tower in New York. As per a report on Business Insider, the new building at 111 West 57th Street, okay, very exact, to be built by JDS Development Group in partnership with Overline, will be able to connect, sort of like a hand radio operator, okay, everyone in New York City to a crypto trading wireless communication. You mean like Wi-Fi? That's already everywhere? Okay. Overline is a mineable interoperability protocol that can connect all blockchains, including Bitcoin, to DeFi protocols. The network is entirely powered by mining, and besides enabling cross-chain trading and interoperability, it allows users to trade its own cryptocurrencies, such as emblems. Are they creating their own tower to make their own cryptocurrency? Please tell me this is not what this is. Oh boy, I think this is it. I think they're making a tower that's meant to be a blockchain tower. It says Overline is a mineable, so I assume that's also a token. And they're also going to have other cryptocurrencies called emblems. The interoperability of the Overline multi-chain network utilizes a unique proof of distance proprietary consensus protocol, which builds upon Bitcoin's proof of work, I'm sure. Bitcoin users are already able to access blockchains through other means, for instance, via a network of satellites or Wi-Fi. So, they're making a skyscraper that's meant to be, I hope it looks futuristic. If it looks like every other skyscraper, that'd be kind of boring. Like if it's made out of like glass and metal, but like the inside it has like, oh, that'd be really cool. If like the walls, you could like touch them. You've seen them. What's that movie? Minority Report, where he's like, he's like touching all the stuff that's not really there. That'd be kind of cool. If you walked in, even like on the glass, if you walked in, a robot says hello to you and you're like, hey, I want to go to the 47th floor. And she goes, right away, sir. I don't know why she'd be doing the robot, but you'd get into the elevator that she called for you because she's a robot. And then you go up to the top floor, and like the elevator wall, you can also touch. It shows you the weather. I don't know why I'm thinking of all this stuff, but please don't make it boring. I have a very strange feeling. It's just going to be like a normal building with a whole bunch of Wi-Fi boxes on the wall. It's going to be like 30 of them. And they're like, hey, you can stand here and download stuff, which is also going to be kind of weird because it's like, I assume this will not be, will it be a closed network? Because if it's going to be open and you link onto their network, other people can also just get your data. This is what I'm kind of worried about. They're building an entire skyscraper dedicated to this. It has to look cool. It has to have proper like privacy metrics. Like I don't want to go there. Like, have you ever walked into like a train station or onto a bus, depending on which country you live in, and it like auto links you to the Wi-Fi of that city? And it's like, I don't want that. Is that what this is going to be? Are they planning multiple? I'm going to stop talking. Anyway, so someone's building a wireless crypto tower. Isn't everything already wireless? Can you imagine how terrible that'd be if we walked down the street and still had like Ethernet cables into our phone and we had to carry around like I'm going to stop talking. Anyway, so this is happening. I assume it'll take 7 years to build because everything takes a very long time. I just hope they make it futuristic. I don't want to go to this thing and then it looks terrible. It has to look cool because no one's going to use it. I have a really strange feeling it's just going to be a normal building with a whole bunch of Wi-Fi boxes on the wall. And it's going to take you a long time because the password is going to be really long. It's going to be like 38 letters. And you'll be like, oh, I'll just go outside and use my normal phone. Anyway, I wanted to stop talking minutes ago, but my brain would not let me. You think I'm joking, but I'm not. Anyway, as always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, Professor Wally from Gunbot University, The Dealer's Den, Red Plump Tomato, Umanu, Wish Nikki, Letter M, Stephen Dirks, Not Brain, Captain Something in the Z-Way Late. Oh, I want lunch now. Crypto Black Sheep, AJ Cut 5, Speedy 655, and Carlos Was Like, Mobarazi, Jojo Shasho, VB Nerd 21, Miguel Grole, why did I say that? Lauren De Silva, Quoted Biddy, Barebones Mining, Troy Allgood, Space Case Need a Miracle, Paternoster, Conan Don't Skip Leg Day, Snacky Chan, Tolek Banan, Auspicious Agile, and Blockchain Navarro Williams, David James, Attila Dahan, Yasha Harari, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, and Stoyer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Gray, Sycamore Hamaroni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Shana, Wise Night, Owl 242 to the World, Bankroll Network? Yeah, Crypto Artist, Cody 3D, Damien Setsuna, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangi, Alavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Garner, Jamie Fox, Minting Coins, Miller, Hishas, Everyday, Kowski, Black Day, Yes to Crypto, Bodemic, Boatface, Any Symphony, Smart Corner Staff, Arfmede 17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger, Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, On Crypto with Lionel. I said, On Crypto with Lionel. Trail Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Yeah, I did it. I know I'm surprised. I say it every day. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. Thank you to everyone who is a liker, a clicker of affiliate links. There we go. And everyone who has subscribed. Thank you. At the moment, the cryptocurrency market's red. Not really sure why it's red, but you know, there's life. This is the cryptocurrency market. Bitcoin at the time of me making this video is down by 9 percentile points. Ethereum is down by 11. Binance Coin is down by 12. I don't have to keep saying it. You already know it's red, so I don't have to read out exactly how red that it is. Is it Friday? Why don't I know this? Happy Friday, everyone. I hope you enjoy your Friday. I hope you go out and do something nice if you're able to. Call a friend, video chat a friend, walk down the street with a friend, go get something nice, go get some ice cream. Do something. I assume it's warm in most places as we are very close to June. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.